Welcome to Clarity Currents, the secret podcast with me, 𝙗𝙗𝙨𝙨, where I share weekly channeled messages about the energetics of the week and the areas of opportunity, so you know how to work with the energy rather than in resistance to it, and know how to leverage it for your highest level good in your business, relationships, health, wealth, spirituality, and legacy. This is Clarity Currents episode for the week of December 8th through the 14th, 2025. Let's dive in. When I tune into the overall energetics of the week, I see a golden lion standing in front of this ancient doorway with this bright beam of light pouring in right behind it. The lion represents your inner child, your heart, and your courage. And the doorway represents the threshold of identity evolution that you're choosing right now. So this is a week where old versions of yourself are dissolving. A new level of self-expression wants to break through. And you're learning to trust your inner voice over the noise. There's a highlight on emotional pressure to transform, but that pressure is actually an invitation to step into a more expressed, confident, aligned you. This is a week of creative breakthrough, emotional release, mindset rewiring, heart-led action, inner child healing, and values-based clarity. The fog of past patterns is clearing, but only because God is asking you to courageously release the outdated stories that you have outgrown. By the weekend, the energy softens, but not before giving you a chance to reclaim your emotional truth, heal any old wounds and patterns, and redefine what alignment actually means for you moving forward. Business for the week of December 8th. When I tune into the energetics of business this week, I see the image of this hands-free steering wheel that begins turning on its own. And this is symbolizing course correction. Early in the week, you may have a creative spark, but you also might feel pressure to transform something fundamental, whether that's your offer structure, pricing, identity in business, your message, your time and energy boundaries, or even your next strategic direction. The question is, are you taking aligned action or obligated action? This week asks you to stop forcing the old, stop waiting for perfect conditions, and stop talking yourself out of what you already know. The guidance is coming in to release perfectionism. Business becomes easier when you allow yourself to follow the inspiration, pursue what feels alive, stop entertaining outdated goals, and let go of how it used to look. Ask yourself, where am I being invited to pivot? What business identity am I shedding? What new version of leadership is calling me forward? Relationships for the week of December 8th. When I tune into the energetics of relationships this week, I see a heart-shaped mirror cracking down the center and then being fused together with gold. This is a week of addressing inner child patterns, clearing emotional debris, and communicating with honesty and courage. And by midweek, I do sense that there is a cleansing of any sort of self-criticism, relational expectations, and perfectionistic ways of showing up in partnership. So if any old wounds resurface, they're resurfacing so that they can be healed at a deeper level. So don't run from the trigger. This is the week to face it. Ask yourself, where am I still giving from old wounds? What part of me learned love through overgiving? What does healthy connection look like now? Relationships this week are a powerful mirror guiding you back home to emotional truth and real alignment. Health for the week of December 8th. When I tune into the energetics of health this week, I see a spiral of energy unraveling from the center of the chest, symbolizing emotional release turning into physical relief. Your health is being rebalanced through clearing old emotions, releasing perfectionism, reducing mental tension, and letting your nervous system expand. And as a result of all of these things happening, you might notice some digestive sensitivities, maybe some tension, headaches, fatigue, or just the desire to rest or even reset your routine. Listen to this. This is your body saying to let go, loosen your grip. I also see the energy of discipline really present this week, and discipline in the sense of honoring your limits, listening to your body's pace, returning to habits that actually support you, and grounding your nervous system. This week, and really any week, your body is a messenger. So ask yourself, what is my body asking me to release? Where can I soften more? What is the simplest path to feeling better today? Wealth for the week of December 8th. When I tune into the energetics of wealth this week, I see a scale balancing on its own, which symbolizes financial harmony being restored through emotional clarity and mental breakthroughs. This is not a week to be forcing money flow. It's about releasing old financial fear, letting go of outdated strategies, trusting divine timing, and acting from alignment instead of urgency. You're being invited to break old money rules, whether those are patterns, habits, or stories that just simply no longer apply to your life. Because the moment you start gripping, the flow increases. So let yourself ask, how can money feel more playful and alive? What do I get to release in order to open up to financial flow? What bold but aligned actions am I ready to take? This is a week of wealth recalibration, not wealth strain. So open up and loosen your grip accordingly. Spirituality for the week of December 8th. When I tune into the energetics of spirituality this week, I see a column of purple light piercing right through the third eye. So this is a week of profound spiritual downloads, sudden insights, psychic upgrades, intuitive alignment, emotional purification, messages coming through dreams. You may very well have vivid dreams, intuitive nudges, or even this sudden knowing. Just let it happen and trust it. Spirituality this week wants you to surrender the old plan and trust your intuitive timing. Release any fear-based action, let source lead, and tune into your higher timeline. This is an activation week for your intuitive gifts. And legacy for the week of December 8th. When I tune into the energetics of legacy this week, I see a person throwing a bunch of old journals into the fire. Your legacy this week is about shedding outdated identities, releasing perfectionism, rewiring your future direction, and honoring the evaluation of your purpose. So as a result of that, you're being invited to rethink your direction and pivot into alignment. Trust the new version of your mission and break free from your own old expectations. The message this week is that your legacy evolves as you evolve. So stop trying to fit the new you into the old story. Some questions you can ask yourself are, what part of my legacy wants to be rewritten? What outdated narrative am I being asked to release? What aligned next step is calling me right now? This week ends with clarity, alignment, and renewed direction. And if you choose to release what's no longer yours to carry, the better you are set up for your legacy leaving mission. There you have it, Hot Soul, your intuitive forecast for the week. Wishing you a week of heart-led clarity, divine alignment, and emotional liberation. Until next week.